Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'll be showing you the process of loading data from Google Cloud Storage to Google BigQuery. So this is a new service I'm introducing today, Google BigQuery. So BigQuery basically is an analytics tool. It's a data warehouse that Google provides, and this is where you run your queries on your data. So for data analysts, data scientists, BigQuery is a big thing. So if you work in cloud and mostly work with Google products, and you're a data analyst, then most likely you may be working with BigQuery. So today I will be walking you through the steps of loading data from cloud storage to BigQuery. So there are several ways that you can get your data to BigQuery, but today basic things I'll just be showing you how to load data if you are in cloud storage to BigQuery. So let's get to it. So I'm going to go to my Chrome browser, log into my account, and then show you the steps of doing that. So here I'm going to navigate the GCP console, and then I will log into my account if I'm not logged in, and then show you the steps of doing that. So here I am in Google Cloud Platform. It's logged in by, it has logged me in. I don't need to log in. So what I need to do from here now to get to BigQuery is go to navigation menu, and on the side here, this is where you have your product, so or services. So here I have some of the services that are pinned. So this is sort of like your favorite section. So if there are services that you frequently use, then you can pin it, or you can pin them. And if you don't see it here, then you will need to go to more products. So BigQuery generally is in the analytics section. So that if you scroll down a bit, you will see it listed here in analytics. So BigQuery is right here. So if you click that, it's going to take you to BigQuery editor homepage. So I just click that, and here we are. So this is the browser for Google BigQuery. So by default, it takes you here, and this is where now you can create your data set, you can create your tables, and start running your query. So this is the browser for BigQuery. So in today's video now, I will be showing you the process of loading data from cloud storage and have that data available here so that you can run your query. So before we do that, there are two things that we need to do for that process to happen and enable us to run the query after we load our data. So the first thing we need to do is we need to create our data set. And then once we create our data set, we create our table, and then go ahead and load that table, load the data from Google Cloud Storage to that table that is created here in BigQuery. So let's do that. So the first thing we do, if you see here, once you come to this landing page, or this is the browser for BigQuery. Once you are here, you will see here on the left side that you have your project at the top level, and then if you open this one, you will see a number of data sets that you have created in this project. So basically, in Google Cloud Platform, project is sort of the container. So all of the services that you work on in Google Platform, you must have a project. So you create a project, and then under that project, that is where you create, or that's where you create your apps. That's where you create all of the resources that you use. So project basically allows Google to track some of the resources that you are using, so that they can bill you. And there are a lot of other things. So in every project that in every service that you want to use in Google, you must have a project. So for me, this is my default project that I've been using. This is my project ID. So inside here in BigQuery now, inside this project, we want to create a data set. And that data set will sort of be our schema. So data set basically is like a schema. So if you're working in SQL, it is like a schema. I think they also call it a database. And then inside that schema, that's where your tables store in. That's where your fields go in. That's where your stored procedures go in. Basically, all of your objects will be stored under a schema. BigQuery, a dataset is like a schema. So we need to create that. So right now this is just our project, and when we create a dataset, basically, our project ID will know that we have a number of tables under this. So BigQuery by default just takes our project ID, puts it here. So here now we need to create our dataset. So let's go ahead and do that. So I will go and create a dataset and call this one demo dataset. Okay. So yeah, you can call it whichever name you want. So for this purpose, I'm just going to call it the demo dataset. And then there are some other options here. So I'm going to leave this one as default. I'm not going to choose any other thing here. So I will go ahead and create this dataset. So basically, this is our schema. So our dataset has been created now. You can see it here. So what we need to do here now is create our table. So we have our schema for dataset, as they call it here. And then from there, we want to we want to create tables under this schema or under this dataset. So remember, what we want to do is load data from Google Cloud Storage. So how are we going to do that? So before I take you over to Google Cloud Storage, basically what we need to do here is we need to create a table. And then once we create this table, we have to specify where our data is coming from. So we have to specify all of this, like where is our source, and then you have a bunch of sources that you can take the data from. You can upload it from your local laptop. You can take it from Google Drive, Google Bigtable, Amazon S3, and Azure Blob Storage. So you can get your data. Currently, at least these are the options that are available right now in BigQuery. This is where you can get some of your data from, and a bunch of these other steps before you load your data to the table. So what we are going to do now is navigate over to. So I'm going to put it. So what we are going to do before we fill this step and load our data, or before we create this table, we will go over to Google Cloud Storage, create a bucket, load data to that bucket, and then now, once we upload data to our bucket, we will come back here, create this table, and point it to that Google Cloud Storage bucket, get the data from there, and then eventually, once our data is here in BigQuery, we will be able to run some queries inside here in BigQuery. So let's do that. So I'm going to just open a new tab over here, and once I do that, I'm going to go to Cloud Storage. So Cloud Storage, I have it pinned here, so I'm going to open that. And then, so here we are. These are some of the buckets that I have created before, but right now let's just create a quick bucket to load our data. So I'm going to call this demo bucket. How about that? All right, maybe somebody might have taken that. I'll call it clear. Yeah, sure. Let's call it BigQuery. So I'll say BigQuery. And then I will just leave the rest of the other options because I've walked you through that before with some of the others. So I'm just going it's basic packet that I'm creating for demo purposes. So I will not go to any of these others. But if you're interested to know the rest of them, you can just click through this and choose the items that you want your packet or the properties that you want your packet to have. But for me, I'm just going to create this. So this one looks like it's been taken. So how about I put it as clear? Hopefully somebody should not have taken that. So let's see. All right, so that's good. Going to confirm that. So here we are in our browser. Inside our bucket. So now we have to upload a file here. And that file is the one that will end up going to BigQuery. And then we can start running some queries on that, on the data inside that file. So I will go here and upload a file from my local environment. So I have this CSV file here for Boston Marathon winners. So I'm going to upload that. So I downloaded this one from the internet. There are some websites that you can download sample data. I am going to link that in the description. So if you just want to download some sample data for free, you can go ahead. So I got this one from, I believe this was Kakol, I believe. So I'll put the link there so that you can, if you're interested, you can download the data and just play with it. So now our file has been uploaded here. So what we want to do is take this file and load it to BigQuery and start running some query on this data. Okay. All right. So how do we do that? So we have our data available in GCS packet now. So we need to go over here to BigQuery, and right now we have our data set created, but we do not have a table. All right. So this is the data set created. Now what we need to do is create a table inside our data set. So the way you do that, you just click here, and then it gives you these options. So the option we're interested with is the one for creating a table. So let's go ahead and do that. So we will go ahead and click that. So this page here pops up. This is the one I was showing you before. So this is where we put our details on where our data is, and a number of other things. So let's go through that. So here we will say our data is coming from Google Cloud Storage. We have to specify which packet it is. So here the one we did was this one for PQ. So we're going to choose that, get the data, and then select it. So that's a CSV file. All right. So it's going to populate here with that extension. Okay. So look at this here. It has taken our project by default, and then the demo dataset of the field. Okay. So that's the one we created. So here now we want to specify here the table name. How do we want our table to show up inside this dataset? Okay. So I'm just going to say this one will be Boston Marathon winner. Okay. So we have done that, and then you scroll down. These are just other options. So the table that really here is where do we want your data to be stored here. So for our case, we want to run this table inside BigQuery. So this is native, and then the external one is basically says if you have your data sitting somewhere, it could be Google Sheets, and you don't want to bring that data to BigQuery. So let the data stay in GCS, Google Sheets, and you just want to use BigQuery to query that data. So you can do that option. But for us, we want to load this data to BigQuery. Okay. So I'll leave it as native. And then here in schema, but there are two ways here. You can auto detect your file. So basically, it's going to scan through that file, and then by default, it's going to create a table for you with the headers, if there are any in your file. It's going to create a headers for you. Basically, it's going to do everything for you. You don't have to do anything like creating the fields before that or any of that. So, and then the other option is if you want to rename your schema, if you want to rename your field, your columns really to look different. So you have to put some JSON file here with specifications for your fields, basically your columns, the data type, and the column names. So we are going to go through this option also, but for now we'll go with the first one here, and then I'll show you how that one works. So click auto detect, and then you scroll down here. Here there in advanced options, you have write preference. So we have three of them: append table, write if empty, and overwrite table. So we are going to choose this option for write if empty. So basically, this is going to create a table, and then if it's empty, it's going to load the data to that table. Now there are some other options. If you already have the table available in BigQuery, you can override it. Basically, it's going to truncate it and load the data, or append to it. So it's going to append at the end of that table. So for us, we'll go with this first option. We know that this table does not exist. So let's go ahead and do that. And then some other properties here, like the field delimiter. So I know it's a CSV file, it's comma, but you can also choose any of these others. We have tab, we have and then some customs. If you have a different than this one, you can specify it here. All right, so the header row is usually on the first row of that. So if you want to skip it, you can do that. But for us, because we said auto-detect this, then we are going to leave this one. We are not skipping anything, okay? So by default, that first row will be our header. Okay, so that one is that, and let's go ahead and create this table. Okay, so here it's loading. It's created our table. Okay, so let's go to the table. All right, so that is that table that we just created. So now it has recognized our file from Google Cloud Storage, and then gone ahead and created this table for us and loaded the data to it. So let's see if that data is available. So for that, all you have to do is go to preview and then see if your data has been loaded. Okay. So you can see our data has been loaded. This is the data that was contained in that CSV file. All right. So our data has been loaded successfully. So there are some other details here. If you go to details tab, it will show you when this file was created. I mean, when this table was created, when it was last modified. So this is just the time as of now, and then the number of records available in this table. So we currently have 124 records. So let's go ahead and run some few queries on this table. And so we can scan it quickly. We can see that we have year, winner, country, time, distance. So if you do this, it says distance miles. So you may want to change this column names here depending on your need. So this is just because we say auto-detect, some of the values, some of these columns may not be the desired ones that you want. So you can change this one, and I'm going to show you that shortly. So, but before that, let's go ahead and write some queries on this table. So if you, let me just show you quickly, that process easily. So you can double click the table, and then if you want to run queries, you can go to this query tab here, and then click in a new tab. Okay, so it's going to pre-populate some query in the editor, and I'm going to work based on this. So let me say select star, and what do we want to do? So for me, what I want to do is because it's a Boston Marathon winner, and I am from Kenya, and we know that's where our marathon winners come from. All right. So I've been thinking of, I thought a while back of joining marathon and running fast. Wow, it's tough. Anyway, so let's see Boston Marathon winners. All right. Who were the winners who came from Kenya? So let's say where and what we want to do is we want to specify the country. So where country, well, let's say is equal to Kenya, right? Let's do something like that. So we want to get Boston Marathon winners who come from Kenya, and what we want to do is I will just do order by year, I think, and we want to do descending. So we want to get from the most recent to when they started running in Boston Marathon. Okay, so let's run that. Okay, so here we go. All right, this is pretty cool. Let's see who are these guys. So you can see in this data set that we have 2022 Evans Chepet was the winner for that race, and he ran for 2 hours and 6 minutes and 51 seconds. Before that, in 21, it was Benson Kipruto, 2 hours, 9 minutes, 51 seconds. And in 2019, it was Lawrence Gerono. So these guys have been winning these races, man. 2022, 2021, 2019. I don't know who won in 2020. Maybe somebody else. But yeah, these are the guys. So you can you can see some quick data analysis here. You can even see from here in 2006 to 2010. This guy was a hot cake. He won how many times in a row? Like 1, 2, 3. So looks like in 2009 somebody may have won that race, somebody else may have done it, but he won from 2006, 7, 8, and then in 2010 as well. So yeah, I mean, if Prime was saying also back in the day, it was a hot cake. And then yeah, so basically this is you know, this is just for the sample data that I had. You can do some quick analysis and get some insights out of that data, and BigQuery allows you to do that. So this is one way of loading this data to BigQuery. So you know, if you remember the steps when we were pre-filling that form, we said let BigQuery auto-detect the file in GCS. So what if now, like I mentioned here, some of these fields, some of these fields, they have some names that you may want to change. So what if you want to change this name so that when you load your data to BigQuery, you have desired field names here. So for example, you can say distance in miles and then get rid of this extra underscore at the end. Same thing with this one. So how do we do that? So there's a way that you can edit your schema in JSON and then specify that before you load your data to BigQuery. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we know that our data is in GCS. We're not going to change that. So all we just have to do is go inside here, create a table, and then we just go through the same process quickly. And that data set was, that file was sitting inside that bucket. We'll pick it. This is the same process we just went through a few minutes ago. So let's say marathon winners, for example. I'll just name this different table for now. Let's say marathon winners. Let's marathon winners. Okay. So that will be our table name that will be created. So I'll leave it as native table. And then in schema, instead of doing auto detect, let's do edit as text. So we'll do edit as text. This is where we can put our value for the field names that we desire. So let's get a template from BigQuery on how they do that. So I think if you look for BigQuery schema definition, I believe something should come up. Okay, so we have this here. Let's see what's in there. So all of this, you know, Google has a lot of documentation. So if there's something you are unclear about, just go to the documentation and see if you can find something. So for me, I just want to get schema definition. So if you say go here, you'll see creating a JSON schema file. So the one that I'm interested here in is this one here. So this is where you get the name of your, it tells you, this is where you specify the name, your column, the data type, the mode, and you know, a bunch of other properties. So we'll take that, we'll copy that, and we will go to Notepad and edit this. So I'm going to edit this. I'm going to paste it here. So now in our table, what do we have? So we have, all right, so let's download this file. I'm going to download this file from the package so we can see what's contained inside this file. So I'm going to open this file. So we have these are the columns that we do have currently in this file. So we have here. So I'm going to copy this. Let's see if we can do that. Copy this. I'm going to put up here just for easy reference. Right there. Okay. So we have here in capital. I touched the Y, so I'm going to make that small here, and this will be string. Required is like if this field must not be null. So if it's null, then it's going to throw an error. So for me, I'm just going to say this one is nullable. So this you know, this field accept null if there's nothing there. So I'll say for the description here, excuse me. And then for the second column, I will say winner, and this will also be a string, nullable as well. The description for this will be, you can make a description anything you want, so I will say winner, yeah. And then we have the third one, which is a country, so I'll say country, and this will be a string as well. And nullable, I will leave that on nullable, so here I will print description here, right? And this will be country. Okay, so how many more do we have? We have 3 more. So let me just bring in this one here. The next one is time. So we have time. We'll leave that on a string nullable, and that is time. And then the next one we have here is distance in miles. So we'll do that, this distance in miles. Okay, so that's going to be a column that will be created. And so if we look at that data, you can see these are like values that are in decimal in some cases. So we will name this one as float. So this is basically a decimal, and the mode will be nullable. And here we can say distance in miles. Okay. And the last one is kilometers in miles. Right? So distance in kilometers. Yeah, sorry, distance in kilometers. So we will do that as well in kilometers. Okay, I think that is it for field names. So this is how you specify the JSON format. Basically, this allows you to customize your field names so that when you create your table, it will have desired column names that you need. In some cases, you will have some files that do not have headers. So if you want to define the column names for those ones, this is one of the best ways of doing it. You just, you create a JSON schema, put in your definition, and then it will go ahead and create the table for you. So let's go ahead and copy it. I believe this is what we should be good with this one. Let's double check it. Float, okay. Description. So it looks good to me. I'm going to copy it, and then we need now to go over to BigQuery. Okay, so we were here, right here, and basically all you have to do is paste it right here. So I mean, you can also use this editor. You can edit all of what we just did in Notepad right here in the browser itself. But I find it easier just using the editor. I mean, using a local editor, and then copy it here. It's easier for me, but you can do whichever way you prefer. All right. So we have done that. So let's scroll down to advanced options. I'm going to do the same thing. Write is empty, and then it is still the same file, so it's comma delimited. And here, very important, we want to skip the first row because that is where our headers are. So if you look at this file, the first row in this file is headers, but because we are customizing it, we are defining our own columns, so we don't want this to be brought in. So it's going to skip this one, and then basically append the field names that we specified in that JSON file that we created. Okay, so I'm going to skip that row. So this, you can say here, skip header row. All right, and then now I think the rest will be the same. So I'll go ahead and do create table. Hopefully this one is going well. Yeah, okay, that's good news. So it has created our table, So we can navigate to that table, and as you can see, it has created the field names, the columns, just the way we described right here. Okay, so you can see here in a country, just like we specified, it has now created the same for us. So this is one way of customizing your field names if you want them to come differently in BigQuery, and it will make it easy for you to query the data if you have readable field names that makes it easy for you to work with. So this is these are those field names that we specified, and you can see here the descriptions as well and the data types, just like we specified in that JSON file. Okay, so let's check if our data was loaded well, and we can see it here. It's coming properly, and we also have the number of rows as 124. It's the same, so it should be matching our part. So here we have 125, but the first row is header, so it doesn't count that. So this should be merging well, so it's merging properly. Okay, so your data has been loaded to BigQuery. I mean, from there you can now go ahead and run your analytics. So I mean, let's do the same thing that we did here. So we are going to do this, just create a new tab and then start querying this data. So I'm going to bring in the same query that I had here. I'm going to paste it right here. So I'm going to do select star. So select star basically selects all the columns that you have. This is not a best practice if you're working with a table that has thousands of columns. I mean, you've seen this if you're a data analyst. There are tables that contain hundreds of columns. So that's not the best practice. So if you have, columns that you usually play with, it's best to just specify it here. But for me, I know I don't have a lot of columns. So in this data set, so I'm just going to do the star. I'm going to select all the fields. And now, the last one we did in Kenya, about this time we do in United States, for example. Okay, let's see. So we have United States here. Let's get the Boston Marathon winners from United States. So I'm going to just edit there and put United States, right? And then we want descending order as well. So let's do that. All right, so this is our data. And these are the Boston Marathon winners from United States. All right, so it looks like the last time somebody from the US won Boston Marathon winners was 2014. That was about 10 years ago, 9 years ago. 2 hours and 8 seconds. I mean, 2 hours, 8 minutes, 37 seconds. Okay, that's the time that this guy took. And before that, it was in 1983 that a person from the US won this race. And then, so you can see all this data going all the way back. So it looks like these guys have been running this race from all the way. It goes all the way to 1897. John McDermott won that race. Wow, these guys have been running, man. I didn't even know Boston Marathon race was going this far. I thought it was starting in 1980s. Or even, I mean, if you asked me 10 years ago, I would think it started in 2000 because that's when I started hearing, some of these races when I was still a kid. But anyway, yeah. So this is your data. You can do your analysis here. You can do all sorts of things. Run all types of queries. You can join it, your data. Basically, you have your data here. You can do whatever you want to do with this data. So BigQuery allows you to run the queries on your data, do analytics, do machine learning, run all sorts of models on this data. So yeah, guys, that's what I just wanted to show you, how to load your data from Google Cloud Storage to BigQuery. And we've done that process. You've seen it. Yeah, so that's the process. If you are looking for the steps on how to load your data from Google Cloud Storage, this is the video, and I have walked you through the steps for doing that. All right, guys. So that is it for me. If you have not subscribed to this video, please subscribe, refer it to your friends. Let's grow this channel. Please like the videos, comment, let me know how you like these videos. If there are any topics that you're interested in learning, let me know. I'll go ahead and make similar videos. All right, guys.